Welcome back to another episode of Growth Through Ganja Smoke with me, Miss Pearl. I'm gonna go ahead and get straight into it with this one. The next song off the Fall Off album is The Fall Off is Inevitable. This is my perspective on my recent 20-year high school reunion. If I had to just give it a Google review, out of 5 stars, I would give it. When I saw the dates, I was like, okay, perfect. I had actually got my outfit early because it turns out to be a sneaker ball. And it's not that I don't like sneaker balls. I just prefer men with suits and their dress shoes. Like in my picture, you'll see like that little shiny backdrop thing because I didn't see a selfie booth like they said it would be. The lighting, the lighting, the lighting. I don't know what they had to go through in order to make this happen. $100 a ticket. Even with the flash on, like my pictures weren't picturing. Welcome back to another episode of Growth Through Ganja Smoke with me, Miss Pearl. I'm gonna go ahead and get straight into it with this one. The next song off the Fall Off album is The Fall Off is Inevitable. This is my perspective on my recent 20-year high school reunion. If I had to rate this reunion, give it like a 5-star or give it a Google review. If I had to just give it a Google review out of 5 stars, I would give it a 3. Now, here's my perspective. When I saw the dates, I was like, okay, perfect. This same week of the Cole concert, I'm gonna go to Philly, Cali, and then come back to the DMV all in like 5 days. I don't even know why I wanted to put so much shit on myself like that. So push the Cali trip back, and then whatever happened, Cali weather just followed me here because this summer, this like the last few days this week has been like California summer, where like it's hot, but like it's not DMV hot. No real like humidity. So it's like the day of, and I'm thinking, like, whatever. Like, there was no anxiety on my side. I wasn't nervous, no nada. I had actually got my outfit early because I found out like 2 seasons ago. So I figured, it was enough time to get this thing together to decide if I was really gonna go. Um, and yeah, just go ahead and go to the event. So the tickets were $100 each, and this was scheduled to be a 4-hour event. It was a lot of hype around it. Then it turns out to be a sneaker ball, and it's not that I don't like sneaker balls. I just prefer men with suits and their dress shoes. You know what I'm saying? So for myself, I was just gonna do heels and bring my sneakers for later. And that's what I did. I had my heels. I said these are going to be just for pictures, and then that's it. And I'm kind of excited because I remember my prom picture, like how clean that picture was when I got it, how nice it looked. And so I'm thinking my 20-year high school reunion, I get to take another nice picture and like put them side by side. So the location comes out, and I Google map it from where I'm at, and it's like a hop, skip, and a jump up the street. Really, it's really not even that far. And then the city, I'm thinking, oh, what the? It's in that particular city, so I know this gonna be nice. In my mind, you know, I, I'm just thinking it's gonna be a really nice event, and I'm gonna have a lot of fun. So, I get there. And, I'm just trying to make sure I'm in the right spot. And then I walk in and I'm like, whoa. And then I see some steps to the right. So I go up the steps and then I'm like, oh, whoa. Overall, like I had fun. I made my own fun. I kept in mind that I'm in my own world. And then, I would sense that I would be between my 17-year-old self and then my 37-year-old self. You know what I mean? And because that's how it's been thinking about this anyway, about all the things that can go wrong, the people you can end up seeing, the this and the that, and just making up shit. And like this whole time, I tell myself, like, we're going. And all that shit you're thinking about, none of that shit ain't about to happen. It's about to be a nice event. You're going to look nice. And then we're going here. We're just going to have fun. So the location. The location just it wasn't doing it for me. I just was expecting a nice venue. And because I am very good at planning events, you know, not that I would have wanted to be a part of it, it's just I'm thinking 20 years later, your reunion would be like some grown and sexy type shit. You know what I mean? And it looks like it's an older office space that if you held a party there, it would be like for teenagers. Like the backdrop, the effort, like the backdrop, like was like the little shiny. Like in my picture, you'll see like that little shiny backdrop thing because I didn't see a selfie booth like they said it would be. The lighting, the lighting, the lighting. The reunion just wasn't reunioning for me. It just like the location. Okay, it's a quiet location. I don't know what they had to go through in order to make this happen, but in regards to the time from when we were pretty much all notified to, the day, $100 a ticket. Even with the flash on, like my pictures weren't picturing. And it was an older office space. So, the renovations weren't renovating. And like the picture that I took, I guess in the selfie booth, like it had like a hole. It was like a hole in the ceiling in the picture. Yeah. So of course I'm fried. I'm ready to eat because the flyer had said food was from 7 to 9, and then 9 to 11 was the dance floor. But everything don't go according to plan, and that happens sometimes. But what I was expecting in regards to the food, I was expecting for my food to be sizzling on my plate. My macaroni and cheese was a macaroni, and it tastes good, but like niggas that eat macaroni and cheese and scold the top layer of their tongue off. And I just slow. And then like the desserts, like they had the fruit tray, they had a couple of fruit trays, and then like sandwich trays, and then there was like just I don't know, like the cupcakes, like the thank you gifts, or little cheap plastic cups with like stickers on them, and then like I'm thinking we getting like I seen this little package in the thank you bag. I'm thinking we're getting weed, but no, it's like BC powder and it's like tasteless stuff, like I didn't see like any roses around. I just it I was expecting grown and sexy and some hot food. I was expecting, even if we didn't have like a real licensed bartender, I was still expecting like a menu with like you can get this drink, and whomever is handling the drinks it would just be a few ingredients to put together, 3 or 4 things to put together to kind of bring it up to something nice. You know what I mean? And it just wasn't giving. I felt like I seen like one bag of ice. That's just what I saw. My thing is, all of the drinks should have been chilled. But again, I don't know. I don't know who's on the planning committee. I don't know who put this together. But I was, some of the music was playing, and I was, with some of my old classmates or whatever, and I was like, I'm starting to have a little bit of fun. And then, they told us that we can eat starting at 8 o'clock, and I was like, oh, okay. But one thing I did notice, when we came in, the old art teacher had like badges, for everybody. It had their yearbook picture on it. So it's quite a few badges. So it's quite a few $100 bills going into this. I was just expecting just a little more grown and sexy. I don't know. I don't know. And then, some of us like really, really came in like prom attire. You know what I mean? Even though it had the tennis shoes, sneakers, whatever, but some of us like really came like some girls was more dressed up than me. They had the makeup down to the nitty gritty. You know what I'm saying? So like the location, the setting, the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? Brown people can make the vibe. We make the vibe every fucking where we go. But there was no wow factor. There's no wow for me. There's no wow in it. I'm not saying that I'm expecting this extravagant thing that we had going on at prom. I'm just saying something with a little bit more effort and a little better quality. Because again, I saw the hundreds. I saw the hundreds on the table with the badges. It was a lot of badges. And I don't care who made it, who wasn't gonna make it. I saw who I saw. They saw me. Blah blah blah. Just mixing and mingling with people. I was, we were taking it in for what it was. And I went upstairs and I got to dancing a little bit. So I was like, yeah, this is. And then like the music was just the music from 20 years ago. And we were all like, well, some of us were like, it don't mean the same thing 20 years later. I would have wanted to hear more music that make one dance in pairs, you know what I'm saying? Like date night dancing. I don't know. I mean, again, I don't know the stresses that went into this, but the end result, 3 out of 5. And I'm really only giving it 3 because of the effort. Other than that, I was in there just popping around, like looking around, like, okay. I saw some people, that was a little confusing. So I was like, oh, this person is showing up in a dress. I guess they've come back over to the other side. And this person was like trying to twerk and bust it wide open. And it's like, it's cool, but I don't want to see it. I don't. You cute, but I don't want to see it. And there was some other people like, damn man. Okay. Someone drove from North Carolina up here to be at this event. I was literally expecting a wow when I walked in. It didn't have that cherry on top type of service. Um, I don't know. Like I was just planning on being an attendee. I didn't offer any help, anything like that. I just figured with the time and money that things would just pan out nicely. But no, and I wasn't the only person that felt like this, and it wasn't to shade anyone who's a part of planning it. It's just I was expecting that wow, and then that grown and sexy feel. Yeah, we smoking weed outside, yeah, but we come in, it's grown and sexy. Got some LEDs up. I don't know. I don't know. All I'm saying is it was quite a few $100 bills. And I know as cheap as I am as a person, you're going to get some hot food. And everything is going to, like for me, again, when it comes to planning, I plan it down to the penny. I would have liked to, had like some activities, or like some games, like whatever. I would have liked to have it because it would have, created more of the interactive, more interaction amongst everyone. Even though everybody was, most of the time, most people were speaking. Most people. One girl, when she pulled up, that was my cue to leave. I already had my cue about 5-10 minutes before, but I just wanted to stay to get another dance in. I did the wobble for the first time because I don't know none of the steps to that. But I did it, and I was having fun. I was having a great time out there. And then, they were like snapping pictures, but again, it's like dark, and it just took me back to why I kind of didn't go to a lot of parties, because the parties is dark, people rubbing up against each other real hard in the corner, and then you come back to school with that, and then one didn't know. And then another one of my old classmates, she put it greatly. She said I can walk in here proud with my head up high, knowing that I ain't got no bodies around here. Because we was also looking at someone else, and I was like, I guess they just rotate. Like, I don't know. Like, there was a buffet back in the day in New Carrollton called Horn and Horn, and we would go there like after church, and then like they had like the hot food just on the rotator, and it's like that's what that group is doing with dick. They just rotating the same sausage links from here to there, and it's like, damn, 20 years later. I was just like, I don't know. Once I heard about somebody being somebody's baby daddy some years ago, I wanted to get out of the high school business. At that point, I didn't want to know anymore. But then there were some guys that looked really, really good for their age. They was nice and fed. They looked like they worked on themselves during this time. One of them walked up to me and was like, hey, yeah, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to slide, blah, blah, blah. I said, I think God sent you over here to tell me to get going too, because I'm standing here just thinking like, how? I'm not about to bob around for 2 hours listening to this music and being in here. I said, I'm kind of ready to be by myself right now. I'm not even going to hold you. I'm kind of ready to slide on up out of here. And he left, and then, I got to talking to someone else. I also asked them about the event. They were feeling the same exact way. They were just expecting something a little more elegant, a little more classy, a little more grown and sexy. And, we were just like, it just is what it is. Because, again, we don't know any of the trials or tribulations that they had to go through to even get this. We had. But it is what it is. And I was standing there, I said, this is a great event where I ain't got to explain shit to nobody. I can just leave. I ain't even got to say bye. And then, I had my ginger ale. I was fried. Ginger ale, in a good mood. I went on and found a trash can to put that in. And I just danced all the way the fuck up out of there. I came, I saw, I conquered. And it's, nothing against nobody. It's just my honest thing. Honestly, when I came back, I was like, my mom was like, You could have just had it at the school. And I was like, yeah, we could have just had it at the school. But again, I don't know if that was possible because I know that they don't want people smoking on school grounds. And, I don't know. I don't know. If that was an option. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying. Even like one of the high school teachers that was there back when I was in high school, they didn't really look like they were having the best time either. It just looked like they were just here. So like I don't know if there was any commotion before all of this popped up. I don't know. Sometimes going into events, people have different personalities, and then it can cause just a little bit of friction. I don't know. All I know is this was what it was. Someone said something very funny. He said, "Man, I could have spent $100 on some weed," and I was just like, "Well, yeah, I could have got me a gram. Could have got me some clearance weed. Could have got no, not a gram. Could have got me an ounce. Got me some weed on clearance." But I don't know. Like, what ideas would I have come up with? I don't know. I don't know. Could we have done something rooftop in Annapolis by the water? I don't know. Could we have just been at the school and had some people who had like a nice food truck outside? I don't know. I I don't know. They also have chefs that come and cook quick meals right then and there. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I even saw online that Eventbrite was promoting DMV down at Virginia Beach. A bus trip down there and back. Be here at this time, get on the bus. We'll be down there by this time. Get back on the bus at this time at this location. We're leaving it and we'll be back at. That would have been some grown shit. We could have got our swimsuits or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. I ain't even talking about a ballroom. Just anything. I've spent less money and had a little upper echelon. Just a little bit. It was just missing. Just missing a few touches. That would have given it that wow factor. Like, wow, my money went to something nice. And, overall, it wasn't a bad event. I got quite a few laughs in. Um, it just, yeah, I don't know. Just, I don't know. We could have, I don't know. I would have been alright with a bar down in DC. Bart already got a DJ, and we just linking up down DC because they got plenty of nice places down there. Nice lounge. We all could sit around. I don't know. I don't know. It's done. It's over with. I can save all that planning for whatever events I'm putting together for myself, for my family. So, 3 out of 5. It's a solid 3 out of 5 for me. But hey, I don't know. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Maybe you got something from it. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you'll be back next week. Maybe you won't. I don't know. Either way, this has been Growth Through Ganja Smoke with me, Miss Pearl.